your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, and we appreciate your patience this morning. I have an annoying moment of the week this week. I'm not going to tell you it, but it happened today, so we'll talk about it. And that's why we're a little bit back this morning. So I appreciate it, but I, just like you, have to deal with the things of life, the big business of life, and the reality that you can do everything you're supposed to do and still have to deal with raising prices and all that good stuff. So we'll talk about that in the annoying moment of the week, probably tomorrow if I feel so the need to do. But I think it's one of those things where, life is just an interesting thing, and overpricing somebody is something that seems to happen, and we deal with that, and we try to figure that out. But I thought that businesses would have a heart. I know this is crazy when I say it out loud, but you would like to think that people actually have a heart during a pandemic, but they don't. So, not everybody. Some of us do, some of us don't, and my deal is finding the ones that do, and I have found so many that do, and I will continue to search ones that do as well, and I will find them. So, with that being said, welcome to the broadcast. We are here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. And Cafe Kubal has 5 locations for you all throughout Central and Upstate New York. They have 4 locations in Syracuse on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, 208 North Townsend Street. And, of course, they have their newest location in Manlius on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. And here inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', bringing you Papa Joe in hour number 1 of every Thursday broadcast. So PJ is going to be joining us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in just a second. We'll be speaking on the NFL Championship. We can't call it the SB, because I think there's something that was said on radio or something a long time ago that you're not allowed to call it the SB, but you can call it the NFL Championship or the big game. So we'll be talking about the Bucks versus the Chiefs, and then we'll get into the Jaguars, a little update on Jacksonville since Papa Joe's in the Sunshine State, and we will take a look at the crazy betting, because PJ knows all about sports betting and whatnot, and we'll talk about prop bets and some of the crazinesses out there, as you know that Mike Sofka, also of Florida, and I made our crazy prop bets against each other, and whoever has the least amount right owes the other one a meal when I come down to Florida and we actually get to meet up. So a lot of great stuff coming up with Papa Joe. And then in hour number 2 at around 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, I have the astute honor and privilege that Katie Kalinsky is going to be joining me with her little baby there, Miss Kaya Bean, and she'll be joining me to speak on what it's like to be a single mother and an assistant coach of a Division I women's basketball team during a pandemic in the crazy world that we live in already. So we'll have a very heartfelt conversation with Katie Kalinsky that I think any single parent, heck, any parent should be watching and listening to, on top of the fact of, families that are just trying to make ends meet while they're out there, not only taking care of their children, but working their jobs and whatnot. Katie Kalinsky is a young woman in society raising her daughter on her own while being a coach and being away from her family. So there's a lot to be said about what that is like and how strong of a woman Katie is and how strong of a human being she is to endure this and to do what she has done. And for the little cute Kaya Bean to be a part of the show as well, I'm very excited to share her with you, because it will be on audio, but it will also be on video. So we'll be able to see little Kaya Bean, and we'll be able to see Katie Kalinsky. As Katie told me that Kaya cannot fall asleep unless she's next to her, and so during the conversation, she will be exactly that, right next to Miss Kalinsky. So, with all of that being stated, I am more than honored to welcome you to the broadcast of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're going to have some fun this morning. We're going to start things off with Papa Joe. He is one of the greatest assets I have ever had in my life, and the fact that this started from me asking him to come on one time to let's do a couple times to let's do football season to now every Thursday Papa Joe comes onto the show, and we always have a great time sitting around. And the whole point of this is, to feel like you're sitting around a table, that you're sitting on one end, Papa Joe's on the other, and you're just shooting the you-know-what about sports and whatnot. So sports, family, life, all the good stuff. He's one of the greatest people I know. He's one of the most incredible people that I know. He's a fighter. He never quits. He never backs down. And he is a father figure that goes beyond the Call of Duty. So with that being said, let's bring the man in. Papa Joe, how we doing?
Good morning, Daniel. Y'all got to keep your weather up there because it was froze here last night. Yes, froze. Now I'm not used to that. I don't want to see some 32 weather down here, Daniel. Y'all got to keep that weather up there.
Yeah, well, we got to keep this weather in the North Pole. I so graciously and kindly referred to Syracuse as Santa Claus's armpit this Christmas, but it's the snow has definitely been a fallen, and it fell, and then it stuck, and then we had a couple days of snow, and then that stuck on top of each other. So if you shovel the driveway, it looks like you didn't even shovel it, and Lily is so tiny that she's got to hop and kind of make some space for herself when I don't have it all cleared and whatnot. So we've been trying to keep it clear for her and keep it clear for everybody up here. But the snow is real, and I was just down in Florida last week when I was on the road trip with Evan when we went from Syracuse all the way down to Jacksonville, and which is kind of ironic because Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora has brought you to Syracuse and Jacksonville. But, to go all the way down there, and as we went, I got to take off my jacket, and then when we got to another place, I got to take off, my, I didn't have to, wear all these layers and stuff. So when I got to Jacksonville, I could just kind of wear a long-sleeve shirt in the morning, and that was it, and the sun was shining. So it wasn't crazy warm, but it was definitely shiny down there, which was nice. And PJ, I know that it's a choice on whether or not you wear a mask in Florida, and that was kind of a little bit shocking and surreal to be in a restaurant with some people wearing their masks, some people not. They're all standing next to each other, which seems to defeat the purpose. But, I got to witness Florida's free-for-all, at least for a little bit when I was down there.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Mary and I went out to eat the other night. I mean, this is, what was it, a couple of nights ago, Mary? We actually we had business in Jacksonville with my neurologist, and usually we like to stop at our favorite restaurant, which is an Olive Garden, just south of Jacksonville and north of St. Augustine.
Yeah.
And, Mary was worried about my mobility and can I get up and can I walk into the stop at our I said, the hell with that restaurant, which is an Olive Garden. So what we did is we wound up coming to St. Augustine, north of St. Augustine, to go to our favorite restaurant, which is Carrabba's. Mary was worried about I hustled my ass up and got in there, but I got in there, and it was a wonderful night. We had a great time, and it was so it was good to be out. I mean, Mary and I are both we both got our COVID shots, and we're registered to take our second one, which is coming up next week. Thank you, Mary. And so that's what we're going to do. I mean, I'm just going to. I can start to get out now a little bit, Daniel. But the mask, is the second one. When we were next week, we were in Chan's Hospital, and everyone had a mask. So that's what we're going to do. I mean, I'm just going to. And Chan's Hospital is huge, and thousands of employees and multi-thousand patients, and we noticed that, and we noticed how serious it was up there, especially in the hospital. So we get out on the road, we stop here, and people got their mask on. We go to St. Augustine, and we walk into Carrabba's. Everyone has their mask on. The servers, you can't understand them sometimes, but they keep their mask on the entire time while they're serving. And I thought it was refreshing to me that actually the country is actually coming to grips with this pandemic we have, and are actually following the rules and following the law, following the protocol. I'm sure Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birch would be very pleased with us down here. But wearing a mask down here is prevalent, Daniel, 100% prevalent.
Yeah, and it's been so interesting. Now you got the COVID shot. I know a lot of it. Which one did you get? What do you know? What company you got?
Pfizer, Mayor? Pfizer.
Okay, and so you got the Pfizer shots. You got one. You got another one coming up. How do you feel? Did you have any symptoms? Did you have any reaction? How have you and Mary been in reaction to it?
No, nothing. No, it's a piece of cake. Now the second one is apparently supposed to have a little bit more oomph to it, so we'll see. There maybe some people react to that a little bit differently, but we'll see. I think next week we'll take it, and actually we're both going the same day, early and late, so we'll just have to maybe go to lunch somewhere and then get my shot. So we're prepared for it, and we're happy that we can actually. I can go out, Daniel. I can go out and do things. I can actually drive with Mary and go someplace and do something. I can go shop. I can go play with my cars if I have to, which I can't. But, if I have to buy something for the cars, I can do that. There's a lot of things now that I feel better about doing. The only problem I have is my mobility. So we're addressing the mobility issue, and they're going to call me Scooter Joe, Daniel. That's what my son's already breaking my balls about. Scooter Joe. I'm going to have a scooter.
Scooter, yeah. And the thing is, I had the conversation with Jim Durin earlier this week, and he's a quadriplegic, and he was in an accident at Miller Brewing Company up here in central New York a long time ago, and and I told him, I said, no matter what happens, and in your case, Papa Joe, obviously it's not that, but being in a scooter, he's in a wheelchair. The reality of you still have your faculties. You still can talk. You still can create thoughts. You still can, I think the greatest thing that we own, and there's a fantastic book, and I compare you and Jim and Maury in the book Tuesdays with Maury, because, it's the reality that no matter what state you're in, Maury was in a different state than Jim in a different state than you, but you all have the ability to talk. You have the ability to connect. You have the ability to share emotion and spread emotion. And I think that is the greatest thing, because no matter what's going on, and obviously I don't want you to be in pain, and I don't want you to suffer or be hurting in any way, shape, or form, nor do I want that for Jim or anybody. But the beauty of life is that even though you might be going through some ailments, you can talk, which means you can share with Mary how you feel about her. You can share with Joe. You could share with me. You could share with your friends. You can still watch sports. You can still enjoy it. You can laugh. You can have fun. Having those emotions and the ability to express those emotions, I think, is the greatest gift of all. And PJ, God continues to give you that, which I think is a beautiful thing.
Well, that's true. I appreciate that. I'm certainly not in as bad shape as your young friend there, and God bless him. He's a real hero. Yeah, it's something. I was hobbling coming out of the restaurant yesterday, and an older gentleman was holding the door for me, and he says, "Are you a veteran?"
Yeah.
And I said, "No."
Sorry, PJ.
No. It is what it is.
But you got to look at it like this. You have a fantastic personality. You are an incredible human being. And I know that there's certain things in life that we can't control and we don't know why. And the greatest thing is, like, you have been a dad to me. You're a dad to Joey. You are an incredible husband who found Mary. Mary found you. I mean, walking into your house in St. Augustine, it is so filled with love. It is so amazing. The thing that I've missed the most, and this is my honesty. I'm always honest, but this is in the back of my head. The thing I have missed the most during a year of the pandemic is being in your house. And so if that says anything about you and Mary and Joey and even crazy Boom Boom when when the cat's there and whatnot, but your house, he is, but your house is the warmest. It's the warmest place to go. Not because it's in Florida, but because it's filled with love. And I get to keep you with me always, because we get to do this on the show every week. And so it's my way of like having you now and having you in a time capsule. But to me, I need you to know, because I know this is an emotional time, but you're a fantastic father figure. You're a fantastic person, and I have missed you and Mary more than I've missed anything else this year.
Well, thank you for saying that, Daniel. I appreciate that, and we love you, and we hope everything works out for you, which I'm sure it will. But back to my mobility. I mean, it's just something that I got to deal with. And now I'm now I'm in an acute area of pain, where I don't, I can't. I'm not taking opiates and stuff like that, but the medical marijuana hopefully will kick in whenever it wants to, if it does at all. And I doubt. We're not feeling anything from it at all now. So.
Well, my hopes is that it gets better. You what?
Scooters give me a little bit more of leeway to what I can do. I know our house is not set up for something like that. I guess we have to set it up. Joe will do that. Build some ramps and things like that. And I don't want a real big one. I want one that I can just zip around in, and something that's easy. I can pick it up and put it in the trunk, or put it in the back of an SUV or something. So, hey, I gotta adapt. I gotta change with the times, and this is what was recommended to me when a spine doctor from Jacksonville. So that's what we're gonna do.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I told my grandmother when we went to the New York State Fair, and she said, no wheelchair. I said, Grandma, we got to get a wheelchair. She goes, no, I can get around fine. I go, I understand, but we got a lot of walking. It's a large area. She said, Daniel, I'm not getting a wheelchair. I said, Grandma, think about being in the dairy building. It's packed. I said, if I put you in a wheelchair, nice people will move, and the mean people that don't move, we can hit their heels with your wheelchair. She looked at me and she goes, let's get a wheelchair. So just so you know, PJ, now you can zip around and hit people, so it's fine. So it'll all be good, and you'll be great. And the thing is, like I said, your spirit is incredible, and that's going, that's something that transcends the tests of anything. I do want to let you know that you got a message from Miss Debbie up here from my mom, and she said love and hugs to you. So she's listening. She's sending her love down there to you, and to and to keep with the love. So Florida's got a lot of stuff going on, I hear, right? The Jaguars got Urban Meyer and all that stuff, and then they have this NFL championship game, which I guess is important. That's in Tampa. So we have Tampa and Kansas. We have Tampa, Kansas City playing each other. We got Jacksonville figuring it out. We got crazy bets going on. I put a prop bet video up for the first time ever with my guy Mike Sofka, and we were trying to decide what color Gatorade's going to be doused on him, what jacket color the Weeknd's going to wear during halftime. So we'll get into all of that, but I want to start with the Chiefs and the Bucks. What do you think about the two teams that made it to this year's, what we cannot call the SB, but we have to call it the NFL Championship? What are your thoughts on Kansas City and Tampa? Did we get the two best teams?
Probably not in one conference, but certainly Kansas City is over and above better than anyone else. I really like to see Rodgers and Green Bay sneak in there, but Tom Brady transcends H's. He's just a remarkable man, and his willpower is just incredible. I mean, he's going to have a tough time. This is going to be a very, very difficult game for him. He's not mobile.
Yeah.
He needs 4 seconds back there, and then if he's got 4 seconds, he'll tear you apart. But I am so stoked that this everyone's excited about this game. It's going to be fun to listen to. It's going to be fun to watch to, and it's just going to be a ball to be an event. Watch the event, and I just hope they don't do anything stupid. That I don't look at halftime and stuff like that. Although I'm probably going to have to this time. I don't know who's doing halftime.
It's some people think it's a band, but it's one person. His name is The Weeknd.
The Weeknd?
Yes.
What the hell is that?
that's his hair's kind of like Pat Mahomes, but his name is The Weeknd.
I'm going to listen to The Weeknd?
Yes.
I don't think so. Halftime is for me. Is to kick back, go to the bathroom, do a little cross proposal, be back up to get it again. Very excited. I think everything is being played out. You don't have to talk anymore about these teams. They they have their strengths and their weaknesses, and we're going to see just how strong Kansas City is, because there's been occasions over the years where I've seen Tom Brady actually will his team to win.
Yeah.
Not physically, just will his team to win. If he can keep them, listen, if he's in a ball game at halftime, we got a ball game.
You know, and I think he will be. I mean, the interesting thing about Tom Brady playing Pat Mahomes is that Tom Brady is never out of a game. But Pat Mahomes is one of the best comeback quarterbacks in the NFL. So you look at this and say, okay, well, Pat Mahomes has come down from like down 21-0, or down 21 points, I should say. So he's come back from being down 3 touchdowns, but Tom Brady's never out of game. So you have two fantastic comeback quarterbacks playing each other. Who's going to come back, PJ, when you got two of them?
Well, we're watching a transcendental player in Patrick Mahomes. This kid. When he was playing college ball, I said, boy, he zips all over. He's bigger than Kyler Murray. I mean, he's strong, he's athletic, he's got a hell of an arm. And I'm saying, who in the hell out there was going to pick this kid? Then it's got to be someone like the old graybeard, Andy Reid, and say, I love this kid, and it's going to exploit the hell out of him, let me tell you. So he has put all sorts of Pat Mahomes offense for him. Tampa has a good defense, not a great defense. They bend, they don't break. I think their defensive line is going to hopefully try to control the game. But listen, you can't let this kid run around back there. You can't. You have to. Someone has to bird dog him. I mean, someone's going to have to watch him. There should be just a key player on him. No one else. Maybe the middle linebacker. Follow him wherever he goes, whether he throws a pass or not. In most cases, he won't, and he'll run a little bit. But he's just an incredible player, and I'm very pleased to say he's got his head on his shoulders too, and he comes from humble people. So it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be really, really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game to watch and a game to see, and I think there was something brought up by one of our listeners and viewers here, Josh. I'm going to shout Josh out. What's up, man? So I hope you're doing well. He said that this game is going to slam the door shut on the debate if Brady is the GOAT. So I'm going to ask you the question. Is Brady the greatest quarterback in the NFL of all time before this game, or does he have to win to be the greatest of all time?
Oh, that's absurd. He's the best, period. I go back a long, long, long way with football, and I go back to some really old quarterbacks who just are fabulous Hall of Fame quarterbacks like Bart Starr and those guys back then.
Yeah.
And Brady has the ability to keep his body in reasonable shape to play 16 games year after year.
Yeah.
He's not only is he the best of all time, he is the best at preparing himself for the all time. He knows what he's doing. He's got his own regimen. He does what he has to do to win, and he actually wills his play. I'll tell you, when if he's in the huddle, and Godwin drops a pass or something like that, the play before, and Godwin comes up, and Brady doesn't have to say anything to him, like, open your damn eyes,
Yeah.
Get the ball in, look the ball in. He doesn't have to. You just look at him and say, hey, Chris, next time. That's all.
Well, I think the thing is, it's all gravy to Brady now. I mean, I know he's fighting, obviously, but this is all gravy to him. And I fought it for a bit. I did. I think I pissed off 500 people that live in Boston. You know what I mean? I think I made them mad when I said he wasn't the greatest of all time a couple of years ago. But I sat here and I said 10 Super Bowl appearances now. He's won 6 of 9, which means that almost 70% of the time that he goes to the Super Bowl, he wins. Not only have fantastic quarterbacks in the NFL never made it to the Super Bowl, and he's made it to 9, he's won 6, more than half, 70%. You put all of that together, plus the fact that this is his 10th, plus the fact that this is his first with it. Now he's done it with another team, on top of the fact that not only has he done it with another team, but he did it with a team like the Bucs who were irrelevant. So it's like you go from, You go from, I mean, I don't want to say totally irrelevant, like maybe they had been in the past, because Jameis Winston did throw 30-some-odd touchdowns, but he also threw 30-some-odd interceptions. So,
my man, Jameis.
your guy, I brought him up today. So, but the reality of the fact is, who makes it to one Super Bowl, let alone 9 going into this? Who wins more than half of them? Who goes 70% at winning those? He's got 6 rings. Then the discussion becomes, can he do it without Belichick? Can Belichick do it without him? Well, he can do it without Belichick. But Belichick hasn't been able to do it without him yet. So we see that. Then we see the fact that this is his 10th. Then we see the fact that this is with another team. And we see the fact that it's his first season with the team and he's 43 years old. You put all of this stuff together, and I've said it, and Josh, you can be proud and you can be happy. He is the greatest of all time. I held out on it for a long time here, but he is the greatest of all time. So I'm saying he's the greatest of all time. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in the NFL of all time. But, he's playing my boy Patty Mahomes, and I think Mahomes is going to do something fun in Brady's home. So as much as I think Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, PJ, I think Pat Mahomes is somebody that may make this game. I think he's going to make this game very, very compelling.
It'll be entertaining for sure. You know, Mahomes is not a dummy. He's studied quarterbacks over the years, and when he was a little kid, he would make believe he was Tom Brady, running all over the place, full passes and stuff. Yeah. I mean, Tom Brady is actually old enough to be his father. So I'll guarantee you, when he's on the sideline, he may be sitting on the bench, but he'll be watching what Brady does. He'll just say, his coach will say, "What's he doing? Give me something. Yeah. Give me a computer. Let me look at it." You know, he's not looking about what he can do next because he already knows what he's going to do there. You know, he's looking at how did he make that throw? What's it? 3rd and 12? Who's he got out there? Brown? Yeah. You know, he's an extremely sharp kid, and I enjoy watching him, and I enjoy watching him play, and I enjoy watching him succeed. This game is going to come down to, as we always talk about it, Daniel, it's the lines. It's the front.
Yeah.
The front. Who's got the better running attack? Who's going to protect the passer a little bit?
Yeah.
Is Gronk going to be critical here in this game because he hasn't been? Has he shown up a lot here recently? I mean, he'll catch a pass here and there, but you know, they know. Kansas City knows that if Brady has the ball inside the 30-yard line, that's Gronk territory. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a double team on Gronk and let the other guys run around. But Brady will find someone, and we'll see what happens. It's Mahomes has so much talent himself and on his team that he can make a mistake here and there, and they can still wind up with 35 points. Travis Kelce, as long as I have watched football, and I always tell you this, I go back to the days of John Mackey on the sidelines of Syracuse University.
Yeah.
I've never seen a tight end with the ability that this kid has. Not only is he 6'6" and 240, he runs faster than linebackers. He runs as fast as defensive backs and catches the ball. He runs his routes primo. Doesn't make a mistake running his routes. If you watch Mahomes, sometimes he'll throw the ball and Kelce's not even in his break yet. But as soon as the break is there, the ball is there.
Yeah.
And he is extremely dangerous, extremely fast. I know I can't compare him to one of our Gator kids. I like to, Kyle Pitts, who just turned the world upside down this last year playing tight end for Florida. When he was outrunning the kids that run a 4.4 40 in the defensive backfield. So, Kyle Pitts is the new generation coming. I'm sure he's following in Kelce's footsteps. But Kelce, to me, when it's down inside the 20-yard line, maybe inside the 15,
yeah,
Mahomes looks for him. He's a wide body, but he's so strong and so smart. He knows just what he's doing at all times, and he's thinking, if I do this, Patrick will see me. If I don't do this, Patrick may see me, and I'll have to come around again, and maybe he'll see me. So, they do this all within 5 seconds, Daniel.
Yeah.
That's what boggles my mind. They make these decisions in 5 seconds, or maybe 6 seconds sometimes when Mahomes has got to run around back there. Travis Kelce is the key to this ball game. If they don't shut him down, the game is over. I'm telling you that. The game is over. Tyreek Hill is going to do his thing out there.
Yeah.
No one can cover him. I mean, he's gonna catch his 6 or 7 balls for 120 yards or something like that. But Kelce is the key, and that's what Tampa Bay somehow is going to have to put a bird dog on him too.
And that's that's the thing. I mean, we look at all this. Speaking here of Papa Joe, every Thursday on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Cubal studios, and he's here with us in hour number 1 every single Thursday because he's awesome, and that's why he earned the post. Now, my mother is not a fan of Tom Brady at all, and I think that, I think I might have rubbed off on her a little bit when I was upset over the years, but she said he's also a cheater. Did you forget that? He needs to retire. Go Mahomes. So she is full in on Patty Mahomes. But you brought up Travis Kelce and Rob Gronkowski. Now here's the thing. I said this 2 seasons ago. Yeah, so 3 altogether. And when you look back on, if you go back to Wake Up Call, go back to previous shows, I said Travis Kelce was the best tight end in the NFL above Rob Gronkowski when he was still with the Patriots. I said right now he is the best in the NFL. He is. Now, Rob Gronkowski has had himself an incredible season, or incredible career, I should say, and not such a great season with Tampa. But Travis Kelce is the best. I said it last year. I believe I said it the year before, and obviously it hung true this year as well. He is the best out there, and there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, in my opinion. So I don't think he can be stopped. I don't think Tyreek Hill can be stopped by anybody in the NFL right now. Tyreek Hill is what? One of the fastest people alive. And then you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire that you put in. You have a Super Bowl team that didn't have a consistent runner, that you went and drafted in the first round a running back at Clyde Edwards-Helaire from LSU. So the crazy thing about that is the Super Bowl team got better, and the Super Bowl team got another wrinkle. So this team is back to the Super Bowl, which I think is not being talked about as much as it should be, because everybody's focused on Brady going back. But how about the fact of how hard it is for an NFL franchise to go back to a Super Bowl, go back to back? San Francisco was nowhere near it this year. Granted, they had 1,000 injuries. I'm surprised they even had enough people to field a team. So, they had in between injuries and COVID. But you look at what Kansas City has been able to do, and it is remarkable, and it's something that's done by so few. For Tom Brady, it's normal. For the Chiefs, it is not. And to see them get here, have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, plus McCole Hardman, who's also fast, and then, you have Sammy Watkins if he's healthy enough to go. There's so many weapons on this team, and if Le'Veon Bell can play in the game, Kansas City has those weapons. They have the ability to maybe not stop you on defense, but they can turn around and outscore you. And there's nobody in the NFL that they can't hang with. Hence why they're in the I can't call it the thing. So if I did, I'm sorry, the NFL championship. So there's all of that on their side and the best tight end in the game. What I love about this game is 2 stories. There's a lot of stories, but these 2 I want to talk to you about. Travis Kelce versus Rob Gronkowski, because I think Kelce's better. And then LSU running back versus LSU running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire of Kansas City versus LSU running back Leonard Fournette of Tampa Bay. Your thoughts on those?
Well, the little Clyde kid is a heck of a ball player. He showed himself this last year that he can play great football for a great football team, even though they weren't that good this year at LSU. Fournette, we knew, to me, the little Clyde kid when he got the ball player, he was a stiff when he was playing. This last year, be a stiff that he can play. I don't care. Great football. He's great football. There's a big article in the paper this morning about Fournette excited about Super Bowl opportunity. He gives his whole life story about how he was hurt. He didn't want to leave Jacksonville, and they fired him and got rid of him. So let him start all over again. But I like the Clyde kid because he's humble, he's genuine, he's real, and he's got a hell of a quarterback going to him. So I think you're going to see him make some plays out of the backfield that Fournette can't. Fournette, to me, has been so overrated since we had him at Jacksonville that I don't know if he's ever going to achieve his stardom. But he may end this game, but he's tough to stop, of course. But so is the little Clyde guy. So I like Clyde in this situation.
And that's the thing. I mean, and seeing Leonard Fournette, like I said, he didn't even have to sell his house. I mean, if he had a place up in Jacksonville or close to it, he's in Tampa. He's not that far away. The craziness of the fact that he goes from a team that ends up having the worst record in the NFL to a team that is in the NFL championship game. What are your thoughts on the Leonard Fournette story? Because I mean, he's had some good moments, but obviously, I wouldn't say Tampa is in the big game because of him. But what do you think about the fact that he left Jacksonville, where he obviously had a nasty-ish divorce, I guess we'll call it? Well, what do you think about him going from a Florida team to a Florida team and going from the worst record in the NFL to a team in the big game?
Well, Bruce Arians, he gave it to him straight. He said, listen, he says, you may be a star, but you're not a star here. So you'll be backing up our running back here, J-Lo, I call him, like I say. And he says, you'll play when we want to play. So he started gaining more minutes, and now the other running back got hurt. So now he's the featured back. Fournette, for all his natural talent, for some reason he looks like his brain doesn't feel like he's there. Something tells me that the kid he's not wired up there right. He'll take plays off. He'll do something stupid. He'll be someplace and Brady will get him the ball and he wasn't there. I'm sure that Brady was pretty fed up with him by the time he started playing with him. And then he just started working on that. You just follow me. You tell him, I'll tell you what to do. You tell me, I'll tell you where to go, and the ball will be there. If it's your play, the ball will be there, and then you got to do what you got to do with it. He doesn't catch the ball that well out of the backfield. He drops a lot of passes. So what can you say? I mean, the guy was a first-round pick, and he didn't achieve what he was supposed to. He didn't achieve, in my opinion, he didn't achieve stardom.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to rely on Clyde the whole time. I mean, he'll mix it up a little bit. He'll put a run in there, and maybe 2nd and 8 or something like that. He'll throw a run in there instead of a pass.
Yeah.
And see what the defense is doing. But he'll be ready to go. I really like that kid. He's a really hard-nosed kid.
Yeah. Clyde Edwards-Helaire doing his thing. The weapons are on both sides. We have Chris Godwin as well as Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, and company on one end with Leonard Fournette and Tom Brady. And then on the other side, we have Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, and of course, Tyreek Hill. So, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think I did say. But yeah, I mean, so, to look at both sides of this thing, I think Clyde wins the battle between him and Leonard. I think Travis Kelce edges out a little bit Rob Gronkowski. And then I think, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are a better tandem than Tyreek Hill and whoever he has. But Tyreek Hill can play like he's 3 people. So there's something to be said about the fact that I think the matchups and the weapons are going to be great on both sides. Now it's going to come down to the defense, which I think Tampa edges out Kansas City's defense a little bit, so Kansas City's going to have to step it up. But PJ and I will be talking about more right after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're going to get an update from Jacksonville, hear what them Jaguars are doing, as well as get into some of the crazy bets that are going on for the NFL championship game. And I'd love to get Papa Joe's thoughts on Jared Goff, who had this quote to say, and I want you to let this marinate. After being traded with a bunch of picks for Matt Stafford and heading to the Lions at 26 years old, being the former number 1 overall pick above Carson Wentz, which is also ironic because Carson Wentz seems like he'll be moving on as well. Jared Goff said, quote, ultimately they wanted to go in a different direction. As the quarterback, as the guy that's at arguably the most important position on the field, if you're in a place that you're not wanted, and they want to move on from you, the feeling's mutual. You don't want to be in the wrong place. It became increasingly clear that was the case. The trade is something that I'm hopeful is going to be so good for my career. End quote. Let that marinate. As the quarterback, as the guy that's at arguably the most important position on the field. Well, actually, just take this because this is in life in general. This is not even sports. Take this part of the quote. If you're in a place that you're not wanted and they want to move on from you, the feeling's mutual. That's what Jared Goff had to say about the move that the Rams made to deal him for Matt Stafford and a bunch of picks going with him to the Detroit Lions. We'll take a step aside for a fast break here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and be back inside of the Cafe Kubal studios right after this.
Cafe Cabal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office, ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafecubal.com. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, located on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, is home to over 40 flavors with more than 200 flavors in their total wheelhouse. Sky's the limit for this sweet and savory Central New York company. Keep it local at your parties, fundraisers, wedding showers, baby showers, and more by calling 315-450-MA-PA. That's 315-450-6272 for popcorn bars with custom flavors and colors at your upcoming event. Make sure to visit them on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. And for more information, go to maandpassnacks.com. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Make sure you make your way out there to the Millhouse Market every Tuesday through Sunday. They're open with their drive-up window that makes it so easy for you to get everything you need and do it in a safe way. And download the app before you head out there. On the Millhouse Market app is located on the Apple app and Google Play stores. You grab that. It's extremely easy to navigate through. You will see their homemade breads and desserts, rice bowls, quinoa bowls, salads, brick oven pizzas, and all of their sandwiches that are named after the families that helped to settle today's Pulaski, ingrained in the community and ingrained in our taste buds. You have everything there on the app. Contactless pay. You can tip on the app. And it'll email you and tell you an approximate time your meal will be ready to drive up to the window, grab it, and go. Keeping it simple, keeping us safe, and giving us those flavors that are second to none, because the mind of Rebecca Elford is absolutely incredible. And what she does there and what her team does there is something that truly is worth the drive absolutely every time. Listen, we all got to eat. So when it comes to eating the best food that you're going to find around, it is worth that drive to head out to 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, to the Millhouse Market. And I look forward to each and every single one of you doing as such. With that being said, back inside of the Cafe Kubal studios here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, wakeupcalldt.com, the two places where you can listen live. And of course, you can watch on facebook.com/livenowdt, as well as on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. So I thank you all for tuning into the show and being a part of the broadcast. Papa Joe and I are here, as we are every single Thursday morning, with you from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time at least. So very happy to have him here this morning. Coming up in hour number 2 is going to be a video special with Katie Kalinsky and her little baby Kaya Bean. And Kaya and Katie will be joining us to speak on what it's like to be a single parent during a pandemic while trying to live your professional career in the crazy world we live in. That multi-layered discussion with one of the best people I know that I consider part of my family is coming up in just a little bit in hour number 2 of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora this morning. And for those of you that are unable to see it on video, maybe you're driving or whatever it may be, we will have the audio airing on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage where the MixLR feed is embedded, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. So make sure that no matter what it is, whenever we have a video and whatnot, we have the audio there for you as well so that nobody misses anything. Want to make sure we involve as many people as we possibly can, because that's what Wake Up Call is all about, including everybody and hopefully imparting some love and some positivity to carry you on your way. PJ, when we look at Jacksonville, at least from my perspective, it's been kind of mum. I haven't heard too much going on, in Jacksonville as far as from the team. not releasing too much. What are you hearing about Jacksonville and Urban Meyer right now, and kind of what decisions he's making, what's going on? What's in the paper down in North Florida right now?
Well, the place, the area has exploded. Everyone is so pumped up to see what this team is going to do on the field with Urban Meyer. It's hard to keep. I'm excited. I mean, it doesn't take. It takes a lot for me to get excited. And I'm not a Urban Meyer fan, as you know, even though he was in Florida for 2 championship years. But he knows what he's doing. He's putting together a hell of a staff. He just said that Bob Sutton will join Jacksonville as a senior defensive assistant, which that was just announced yesterday. And he's bringing some guys from Baltimore over with him to be on his staff. So he's laying his bed, experience at a time.
Yeah.
He's bringing experienced guys. He knows how to win, certainly. How he can put together an NFL team remains to be seen, but he's got Trent Baalke for that. He doesn't have to think too much. Just, if I need a quarterback, I'll find a quarterback. If I need a running back, I'll find a running back. His team is coming together. I still haven't heard any news on the offensive coordinator. I thought for sure it was going to be Scott Linehan, unless something got under me. I hope not. I mean, I think I'm more aware than that, but I haven't heard anything. There's billboards everywhere. New Jacksonville's coming. Duval this. And we were in Jacksonville yesterday, so the pitch is at a fever high, and they're not even reporting yet. It's all what Urban Meyer can do with the staff he's got.
Yeah, in seeing this and what Urban Meyer can do, I mean, what are you excited about? Like you said, you're a Florida fan, you're a Gator through and through, but you weren't an Urban Meyer fan. Now you have a chance of having Urban Meyer again. So, it's kind of the irony of you had Urban Meyer with the Florida Gators, now you have him with the Jaguars. I had Doug Marrone with Syracuse, and then I had him with the Jaguars. What are you hoping for this time around with Urban Meyer, and is there a chance that you could become an Urban Meyer fan?
Well, the Urban that I was used to is not the Urban that's going to take over this team. Urban Meyer cut a lot of corners when he was a coach at Florida and also at Ohio State. I mean, you already heard me say this several times. He's always recruited the edge kids. Now he doesn't have to worry about that because most of the hoodlums are already playing, so he can't stop a scholarship. So he's ready for him. The only problem that I have with Urban is that he used to snow these kids when he was at Florida and Ohio State. He would just snow these kids. I mean, he would have the best recruiting classes because he knows what he's doing and he snows them. So, but you're not going to do that to an NFL locker room. He's not a rah-rah kind of guy. He's not going to he's not going to take over his defense. Like I said, the defense is going to be run by Joe Cohen from Baltimore. And he's bringing a couple guys with him. So Urban's already said that. He said, "Listen, defense, you're on your own." So what he's going to do is put together his offensive team, and he's going to try to score as many points as possible. So Urban is Urban. I'm only actually happy and glad that he's here because I think he can do the job. Even though I didn't particularly like what he was doing at Florida and Ohio State, he won, and that's the name of the game. I mean, if you win with kids that are of ill repute, then what the hell? I mean, when he was down in Florida, he had 31 kids that were arrested. These are scholarship kids, Daniel. These are scholarship kids. Yeah. But he used to go find some of these guys, and he would talk them into come play for Florida. And after a couple of years, he'd spit them out because they would get themselves in all sorts of pickles, kill someone, shoot someone, stab someone, whatever. So I'm excited because I know and I got to be an open mind about this. I have to be. I mean, I know what he's capable of doing. I just don't know if he can do it at this level. But the town and the area is excited. It's at a fever pitch. We want to hear more news. We keep asking for more news. We don't get a lot of it, but he's very careful with what he's doing with his coaches. So let's hope that he's got a plan.
Yeah, and that's the thing is figuring out what this plan is going to be, and if Urban Meyer can indeed translate to the NFL because he has only been at the collegiate level, is going to be an interesting thing for us to see from here on out, is what can he do and how successful can he be? That's the question, and we'll get the answer at some point as time goes by. Before we went into the break, though, Jared Goff, I had read you that little excerpt from the LA Times and what he had to say. He said, quote, "I really enjoyed my time here. I wanted to leave this on a positive note. Obviously, the ending wasn't favorable, wasn't fun, but them drafting me number 1 overall and bringing me to a city that hasn't had a football team in a long time, being a part of the rebuild after 2016, being able to bring LA football back to prominence, all that stuff I take extreme pride in. It's something that I'll always remember," end quote. Because remember, this man went to the NFL championship just a little bit ago, but he also said ultimately they wanted to go in a different direction. As the quarterback, as the guy that's at arguably the most important position on the field, if you're in a place that you're not wanted and they want to move on from you, the feeling's mutual. What are your thoughts on him saying, hey, if you don't want me, I don't want you, and I'm cool with that, and I'm moving on? He's traded for Matt Stafford and a bunch of picks going to Detroit. Detroit got first rounders and a third rounder, and they got a young quarterback. And LA thinks that Matt Stafford over the next couple seasons can be the guy to lead them to the promised land. What are your thoughts on the trade, and what are your thoughts on Jared Goff saying, hey, if you don't want me, the feeling is mutual?
Well, he's probably speaking from his heart. I mean, it's probably true. But, McVay over there, he's got a heck of a football team, and I don't understand why he would want to get rid of Goff. I mean, Goff is a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's a big, tall guy. He makes good decisions. He throws the ball well. He's got a hell of a rocket. And McVay must have seen something in Matthew Stafford that he wanted to explore if he got him here to L.A.
Yeah.
Goff is going to be a usable quarterback no matter where he is. And I'm sure that Detroit is very happy to get him. Extremely happy. Nothing wrong with that. Now, Matthew Stafford arguably has been one of the best quarterbacks in the last 10 years. Now, I say that arguably because he's always get the hell kicked out. Yeah. He doesn't win a lot, and he lost his best receiver, Calvin Johnson, there over something Johnson did with the team. He lost his security blanket there, and he would get so beat up and so hurt that it would take him a month after the season to get his body where he can walk around and do some things with his kids. Yeah. I mean, this guy really had the heck kicked out of him. So if he's going to be in a situation where maybe they can protect him a little bit more, I mean, he is a great quarterback, and he doesn't have to prove it anymore because he's proved it in a situation that Detroit was absolutely deplorable. They absolutely used the hell out of that kid, beat the hell out of him, and got nothing from it. So if he wants to go to a greener pastures and McVay sees this over, he says, hell yes, I'm going to take advantage.
Yeah.
Yes, bring him to me. I don't care if he got 10 picks like Herschel Walker. No, give me Matthew Stafford. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, and I think that, and you bring up a point with Matt Stafford, kind of reminds me of like Dan Marino in the sense of the fact that, he was such a good quarterback, but it just wasn't going anywhere. You know what I mean? And I posed the question of the Detroit Lions. What if the Detroit Lions in time could have had Megatron, like if they had Megatron, if they had Chad right now, and so if they have Mr. Megatron in this moment, and then you take Megatron and you put him with Barry Sanders and Matt Stafford, and you had a team like, or Calvin Johnson, pardon me, I said Chad. If you have Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders, Matt Stafford right now together in their prime, what that would have looked like and what type of show on turf that would have been. And now Matt Stafford's going to what was called the greatest show on turf when the Rams made it with Kurt Warner to the championship game. So, Matt Stafford, to me, he's an unsung hero because he was trapped in Detroit. And, Barry Sanders was trapped in Detroit as well. And Calvin Johnson was trapped in Detroit. Matt's the only one that got out. And to see what he can do, I mean, PJ, I would imagine he only has, 2 or 3 seasons to give. But do you really think that Matt Stafford could be the missing link in LA? Because I don't believe it. I don't think that he's going to go there and win an NFL championship, but I also think he's better than people give him credit for. So what do you think about the Matt Stafford project in LA now?
Well, you got to follow football. I mean, sometimes these guys go from a team to team, and some of them work and some of them don't.
Yeah.
This is going to work for LA. This is going to work for them. Matthew Stafford has all the talent in the world. He can make any throw. I mean, how could you not like Matthew Stafford? I mean, the kid's he's a genuine six-shooter. The days of Dan Marino. Yeah, he throws the hell out of the ball. So if McVay wants to take advantage of that over there with his athletes, he must have seen something, because that guy's pretty sharp over there. And if he wants Matthew Stafford, he got him. And you're going to see a heck of a football game. A heck of a football team. This kid is going to light. This kid's going to light it up, Daniel. And look, when you trade, there's always animosity between trades like that. I mean, I'm sure that Goff is pissed off because they just ceremoniously threw him out the door. He probably didn't even know he was trade bait. But then Matthew Stafford came up and says, "What do you want for Stafford?" A couple of first rounders and Jared Goff. Okay, and so they got a deal. And so Goff has to, fire it up again. He's going to have to do it for another team with a whole new different staff, a whole new head coach, offensive or defensive coordinator, have a whole new staff. Don't know how that's going to happen for him over there, but he's a big guy, he's a tall guy, but he's not a very heavy guy. He's not put together like Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
So if he gets beat up a little bit, he may not get up off the ground. But Stafford has always answered the bell, and he has always done it with an inferior team.
Well, and that's the thing. He has always done it with an inferior team. I don't see them winning an NFL championship necessarily, but not that they can't. I just think the odds are more against them than other teams in the NFC. I think the Arizona Cardinals are getting better, and they're in the same division. So I just want to see Matt Stafford do well. I would love to see him win a championship. I would love to see that. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see it, because I've been a Matt Stafford fan for a long time, because he has been trapped on a crappy team. I mean, let's just be real about it. He's that really, really, really awesome spot on a really, really... I mean, it's like going into a restaurant that's always dirty and the food's subpar, but, one of their workers is one of the kindest, nicest, most amazing people, and you'll go into that restaurant and you'll eat their crappy food and you'll deal with, there being beans and water all over the floor just because you want to see Matt Stafford. That's what it is. He was the person you go into the place to see, even though you don't necessarily like the place. And you're going to go where he goes. Because now I'm going to be watching him in LA. And I'll be watching Jared Goff in Detroit. But the reality of it all to me is I'm now focused on Matt Stafford finally getting his due. I would love to see him have a successful career in LA and have a swan song, because oftentimes, we see these quarterback swaps and these people that haven't been respected, and not just quarterbacks, but any position, they go to another team and it maybe doesn't work out. And I want to see this one work out. Speaking of working out and talking about quarterbacks, the Rookie of the Year has been named for the NFL this year, and Justin Herbert, another LA quarterback, was named the Rookie of the Year. Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert named the Rookie of the Year over the other 4 finalists: Justin Jefferson, wide receiver of the Minnesota Vikings; Chase Young, defensive end of the Washington football team; Jonathan Taylor, running back of the Indianapolis Colts; and James Robinson, undrafted rookie out of Illinois State, running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Did the NFL choose the correct Rookie of the Year? And what do you think about James Robinson being a finalist after being undrafted in 2020?
Well, Robinson is a great story. We've been talking about it for several months, and he's just a very humble young man, extremely talented. And I guarantee you, when Urban was looking at tape, he's looking at tape with this kid. I guarantee you, Urban is going to love this kid, and he's going to put him to work too. He's going to be catching passes out of the backfield. He's going to be blocking. He's going to be blocking on the end sweep. He's going to be running the ball. He's going to do everything. And Urban will know how to use him. Well, what was the other part of that question?
If you think that Justin Herbert, it should be the Rookie of the Year.
I'm so wrapped up with Robinson. Herbert, he's the real deal. No doubt about it. Another big, tall, lanky guy. You know, I hate to bring up this point because I belabor it a lot, but I don't want to see people hurt. You see these big guys come into the league, and Herbert is big, really big, and he's throws the hell out of the ball, and he did what he was supposed to do. He just did it a lot earlier than people thought he would do. And then I look at some of these little bitty guys like, little Arizona quarterback and Lamar Jackson over there. And Mahomes too. I don't want to see these guys run. I wish they would just say, the run pass option is fine, but let's keep it so we don't kill our quarterback. And that's all the point I'm trying to make. It when I see the little guys that are playing quarterback. I mean, I got to put Mayfield in there too. He's not a big guy, but these are sensational athletes. But a guy like Herbert comes along and he's big and he's better than these guys, and he's bigger and stronger than these guys. And he can probably take a lick too at the line of scrimmage. So I'd like to see the run pass option. I don't really want to. I want to see that ebb a little bit. I don't want to see that used as much because I don't want to see Lamar Jackson or little Kyler Murray hurt. I just don't want to see that. And look at what's his name there? The kid who was Washington got hurt. His quarterback there that never made it.
Dwayne Haskins.
No, not him. Before him.
Alex Smith. Are you talking about Alex Smith that came back or no?
No.
Colt McCoy.
No.
So many Washington football. There's so many quarterbacks that were there. That's a problem.
I'm trying to make a point, and I can't think of his name. I mean, he's a nice man. I mean, he's a nice man. He got the heck kicked out of him. I forgot where he actually played before he got to Washington. But the point I'm trying to make is that they played this kid too much.
Yeah.
He wound up getting hurt, and they played the kid while he was hurt, and he went down with an injury that never healed correctly, and he's never been the same.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna figure this out. Robert Griffin III.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
And that's he was another quarterback that came on the scene that had all the intangibles, but he's a slight man, and he tried to run around, and you just don't do that. And now look at him. He's gone, and I don't know if he'll ever be able to play again, but he can play as a backup.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm afraid of with these guys when they come into the league. Now Herbert, they used strictly, mostly drop back, and from the run pass action, he threw most of the time. So I mean, when he starts rumbling up the field, I don't think I'd want to get in his way because he's about 6'6", 250. So, but he's a good quarterback, and I think he's going to be great for the league. And I think I agree with the voters. I would like to see Robinson maybe scoot up there to number 2. But as long as he's noted, I think that makes him feel good, and it makes the Jaguars feel good because they knew when they were blocking for that little guy, and if he found a wedge, he was through it, and he was tough as can be. And I'm excited to have Urban Meyer have him on the team, and you'll see him use him. I'll guarantee that.
Yeah, and James Robinson, we talk about how Leonard Fournette goes off to Tampa, and now he's playing in the NFL Championship. Well, James Robinson ends up there and is low on the depth chart. He goes from 3rd or 4th to 1 in the whole scheme of things, and now he's the guy, and he's showing, hey, Leonard, guess what? This line ain't that bad, or maybe I'm just that good because I could do what I need to do while I'm here. So there's a lot of good to be stated about that, and a lot to come from that. I think a ton of these. I think James Robinson would have been a fantastic story to name the Rookie of the Year, and Justin Herbert, obviously, like you said it perfectly, he started playing faster than we thought he would need to, but Tyrod Taylor went down with an injury, and that put us in a situation where we had to see Herbert. I do want to let this be known, though, 2 former Jaguars will be playing in this year's championship game. Not only Leonard Fournette, but I shouldn't say playing. 2, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are to win the championship, 2 former Jaguars will get rings. Do you know who the other one besides Leonard Fournette is, PJ?
No, I don't.
Blaine Gabbert.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Blaine Gabbert.
Gabbert is the backup to Tom Brady.
Well, I was, you remember, I was a big Gabbert fan. I loved him. I mean, I loved his arm. Moved around the pocket well. He just didn't make the best decisions, and he didn't have a good team. Yeah. But you see him come in with Brady every once in a while, and he knows what he's doing. Blaine Gabbert is a good quarterback. I think he'll be a good, usable quarterback, second team for anyone really. I don't think he's. Let me put it this way. I think he still has a little potential to be a number one quarterback. He still has it. He's got to be with the right coach. He certainly got it with Aaron's right now, I'll tell you, and he likes him. So if Aaron's likes him, I like him. Good for him.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because you got Leonard Fournette, former Jaguar, Blaine Gabbert, former Jaguar, and then the guy I thought the Jaguars should have drafted, which was Devin White, who's playing linebacker for Tampa. So, it's interesting to see, from Jacksonville to Tampa, the difference here. PJ, before we go, NFL championship, who's going to win this one, Bucks or Chiefs? What's your pick?
Oh, my gosh, I'm really torn with this. Because I'm such a Brady man over the years, and I know how difficult it is doing what he's doing. He can transcend a team on his own, and Bruce Arians knows that. He said it only took one guy to turn this franchise around. That's what it is. But with that being said, I think that Kansas City just has a little too much firepower.
Okay.
I can see Kels just running crazy back there. I tell you, the linebackers are really going to be challenged here. Defensive backs too, obviously too, but the linebackers are going to have to pick up Kels. And Gronk is still usable, and he's a big space eater, and he can still take up a lot of room. He can still catch balls and move the chains. I think Braid is going to come in and probably do a better job than he is. I think the key to the game is going to be linebackers on the defense, on the tight end. And I like Kansas City by 10, 12, 11 points.
All right. Okay, fair enough. Now, here's some crazy stuff here, PJ. Some crazy stuff. And this is, I'm looking at these right now. So these are ones that I didn't mention in the other prop bet video that we did. So here's one. Primary color of Miley Cyrus's hair in her tailgate show. Will it be blonde or white, brown, red, or purple? Then we have will the artist forget or omit a word during the national anthem, yes or no? What will be said first on the broadcast, groin or hamstring? How many times will Queen Latifah be said by Jim Nantz, over or under 1.5 times? The primary color of Bruce Arians' flat cap, red, white, gray, or black? Will Tony Romo correctly predict an offensive play, yes or no? What will be said first by Tony Romo? Read, penetration, blitz, A-gap, or trick play? How many times will Tony Romo mention his kids or children over half a time or under half a time? Will LeBron be said during the broadcast, yes or no? So, I mean, there's some crazy stuff here. Will The Weeknd first be seen with sunglasses on his face, yes or no? Will he be seen first with gloves on his hands, yes or no? The Weeknd's final guest on stage, will it be Ariana Grande, Drake, Doja Cat, BTS, or Kenny G? Will The Weeknd perform with a bandage on his head, yes or no? Will a Michael Jackson hologram perform during the halftime show, yes or no? These are, I mean, you're a guy that dealt with bets in the past. How crazy do these bets sound to you?
It's stupid. There's nothing more I can say. I mean, I heard what you were saying.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out why people would even cause attention to this. Other than what you said about Tony Romo, I don't give a damn about the rest of it.
Yeah.
I have no idea who some of these people you're talking about. I mean, I'm an old codger now. I'm not going to... Barry's going to make me sit down and watch the halftime show. So I'm going to have to do that. So, but I don't care about it, really, and I won't. I will listen to Romo, though. Romo will have my ear, that's for sure. And Romo, I guarantee you, Romo would love to be out there throwing the ball around, but it's going to be a good game. I just hope no one gets hurt. And God bless everyone. I hope everything's all right.
Papa Joe coming from him, picking the Chiefs. I'm also going with the Chiefs in this game as well. And Mike Sofka has gone with the Bucks in the NFL Championship. PJ, as always, I appreciate you. I'll be giving you a call during the NFL Championship just to see how you're faring. You know what? I'm going to call you at halftime while the Weeknd's performing to see. I want to get your in the moment, in the second reactions that I'm sure will make me laugh. And I cannot wait. So I'm going to have to get Papa Joe's reaction to the Weeknd. I think that video would go viral anywhere.
I will give you some opinions on some of the stuff that they'll be shaking their booties up there all over the stages and things. I'm not interested in that. If Mary wants me to sit and watch it with her, I'll do it. But I wouldn't be happy doing it.
That coming from Papa Joe. PJ, as always, take care of yourself, and the same for Miss Mary and Joey. I love you all, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.
Take care. That coming from Papa Joe here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're going to take a quick step aside for a fast break. When we come back, Katie Kalinske will be joining us. Don't miss a second of this. This is a fantastic conversation. It's being a single parent while coaching, living your dreams in the middle of a pandemic in the world that we live in today. All of that going on in Katie Kalinske's life. You'll hear from a single parent, a single mom, coaching, parenting a newborn baby away from home while trying to figure out everything else out with the pandemic and life in general. And she's doing it in an amazingly, amazingly successful way. We'll talk with her after this. And we get to meet Kaya Bean, which is awesome.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, where you're listening. You're watching and seeing me and Miss Katie Kalinske here on facebook.com/live-now-dt and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. So with that being said, since the last time we talked, Katie, added some more avenues for people to get in touch with us. And how you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little nervous. Normally it's just over, the phone. So this is a little different. We got the face to face now. So
I
I like
know.
the added, video though.
We gotta see the grill now. You gotta see what's going on. So, how's life? How's being a mom?
It's good. Just trying to navigate the crazy season that we're in right now with COVID and, games are getting canceled left and right. And, just trying to take care of my daughter every day and go to practice and have our games. And, hopefully we can get on a little run here coming up.
Yeah, and being a mom and having your daughter, first and foremost though, let's shout her out to everybody that doesn't know. So let's shout out the daughter. Let's shout her.
My girl Kaya Bean.
Yeah. See, what do you call her?
Kaya Bean.
Kaya Bean. Okay. Is that the number one nickname, or is there other ones?
Well, I like to call her Beanie because her middle name is Bean after Kobe Bryant. So, I call her Beanie, Kaya Coco. I don't know, there's a lot of them.
Okay. So Kaya Bean. So, okay, I didn't know the middle name was Bean. So awesome. So,
yes.
So how is she? How has she been?
She's good. She's a lot. I mean, as any parent would know, that it's a lot. It's a 24/7 job. So, I'm the only one here in the morning to wake up with her. She could be up at 4 or 5 or 6, and then I got to get myself ready for work. And like this morning, we were up at 6, and then I gave her a bath, and then I had to get ready and be in the office by 9, and we had practice this morning at 10:30, and she's good though. She's a happy kid. We went to the gym today for practice and she was just smiling and so happy to be around the girls. Yeah. And she's always watching, like just going when the girls are going up and down. She's always watching them at practice. So it's a pretty cool experience to see her kind of like grow up in the gym a little bit.
For you, I mean, she's getting to see your world really as the first world she sees. What's that like for you, that your passion and your love is really like the first things that she's ever going to see?
Yeah, it's awesome, because I have such a passion for like sports and basketball. So just knowing that she gets to kind of like watch every day and, be a part of like even our stretching circle, and, I'll do her stretches with her and she'll do tummy time with the girls in the circle. And, just to know she has another family here out in PA, it's really cool to see. And just seeing like our girls with her too. They're like sisters to her, and she has like 15 sisters. And, then Kia, our head coach, is the same, like loves having her around. And like I'll be in the middle of practice and it'll be time for Kai to eat, and she lets me just go right into the office and feed her. And I could be gone for like 20 minutes of practice, but that's the kind of atmosphere. And shout out to my head coach Kia, because she kind of makes it happen for me to be a mom and coach at the same time.
And for that, I was going to ask you that, like, how has the staff been and how has Lafayette been with the fact that you when all this was going on, you had Kaya, and then you had to find a way to get back into the swing of things. How have they been?
Yeah, obviously, my story's been out there that I'm a single mom, and it's tough because I don't have, even like when I come home at night and I gotta like watch film and do my scout and make recruiting phone calls, like I don't have someone that can just take her for an hour or two, or wake up in the morning with her so I can get myself ready and get to work. Like it's just me. So when I come home and she's got to eat and whatever, I got to change her diaper, I got to give her a bath, change her clothes, she, like I said, she's a 24/7 job. So just navigating that. And luckily, like people like our head coach Kia, our assistant coaches like Nat, like she stayed at the office an extra 2 hours today just so I could watch film for my scout in that's a week away. So it's like just having like people like that. And sometimes our players will come over and just help me for an hour or two just so I can watch film. And, just having support like that is really helpful in this situation, and being able to bring her to practice and at work every day. Lafayette has been amazing. Kia, our head coach, has been amazing. Our staff has been amazing. Our players. So, it's really fun. I'm not going to lie. It's cool just to be able to have the support I have. And, I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't have support here.
You get the job at Lafayette and then you find out you're pregnant and then you got to go. I mean, it's like, it's like it happened. I mean, I remember sitting with you and you had come back to Central New York, and we were actually watching the Raptors win the 2019 NBA Finals. And you were like, hey, personally, I don't know what I'm doing with this. Professionally, I don't know what I'm doing with that. And then all of a sudden the job comes in and you become a mom, and then you got to go back to your job fresh off of just starting it. What was that like for you? And were you ever nervous that it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, obviously being a new coach, and like you said, like when I was with you, I didn't have a job at the time. I was kind of in between jobs and I didn't know what was going to happen. And I finally got a break and I finally got the coaching job I've been working for, for 8 years. And it was awesome. I was having so much fun last year and coaching and working with the girls, and, we were winning. And, obviously last December, I found out I was pregnant, and it was a complete surprise. And I didn't know. It was a lot of unknowns. I don't have family out in PA. Obviously I have the team, and, I'm a single mom, and it was just kind of like, wow, it was kind of like what's going to happen and how is this going to work? But just having Kia, our head coach, behind us since day one, saying, Katie, you're fine. Anytime I doubted it, Katie, we got you. We're here. Like, you're going to bring her to the office. She's going to come. She got to come on road trips, whatever we got to do. Like, we're going to make it work. And, you're not even going to think about not coming back next year. And just having her support made it a lot easier, through the process, because, being a single mom, I did have doubts, but I was excited at the same time. And, you don't really know what you're capable of doing until you're in the situation, and then you have no choice but to make it happen. And every day I wake up, I'm like, I have no choice but to make sure Kai is okay. And, I have a duty to our players to make sure that I'm doing my duty as a coach too. So it's good. It was a little nerve-wracking because of, the situation, but everything really did work out.
Where did the name Kaya come from?
You know what? I don't even know. I wanted a K name because I have a K name, and I was just looking up names, like just K names, just a lot of K names. And if it was a boy, it was going to be Kobe. And I had that picked out for a while. It was going to be Kobe Carson. And then if it was a girl, for like 6 months of my pregnancy, Kaya just came to mind, and I just stuck with it the whole pregnancy. I just didn't even switch it. And one of my friends who's a big Kobe fan was like, have you thought about naming her Bean as her middle name? And, I was like, I didn't really think about that because of how big of a Kobe fan I am. And it just stuck with me, Kaya Bean. And everyone liked it, and that's what it was. And I told people ahead of time what her name was. I wasn't like that person. I was like, oh, you can't know until, she comes out. And, it stuck with me. And I love the name to this day. So I'm glad, I picked that name.
And that's the thing, because Kaya Bean sounds like a nickname. You know what I mean? And her name sounds like a nickname, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of Kayas out there, especially spelled the way I spelled it. I spelled it Kaiya. So a lot of people are like, how is this spelled? And, so it's unique. I think I'm a unique individual, and I don't like to go by what everyone else is doing. So you knew I was going to have some type of name that wasn't going to be a generic name.
Yeah, that coming here from Katie Kalinsky, here with us, was with Syracuse for 7 seasons. The men's basketball program is now with Lafayette, and they're with the Leopards for Division I. And when it comes to women's basketball, and in the midst of all of this, Katie, you find out that you're pregnant. You go through coronavirus, you're at home with your family, you're on the couch, you can't go anywhere, you can't be around anyone, you don't want to get sick, you don't want to get the baby sick, and then, everything gets put on hold in the sports world. Your entire world, becoming a mother, would have already turned upside down, but then it was upside down on top of itself, and where do I go, and what do I do, and I can't leave the house, and now what am I going to do when the season comes back? Is there going to be a season? Bring in, the fact that you became a mom in the middle of a pandemic, which is a very unique thing. There are, obviously women around the world can tell the story, and each of you are going to have a different kind of aspect of it because of the story that you personally can tell. But there's women all over the world and men all over the world that became parents in the middle of all this.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It was a lot. Like I left work, at the end of our season thinking that, I was just going to go home for 2 weeks and we were coming back to work. And, even though I was pregnant, and that 2 weeks turned into the rest of the summer, I was home. And then I finally got a doctor in Syracuse, and you can't have people at your appointments, and you're going to appointments by yourself. And, I'm not going out anywhere besides just my house because, like you said, I don't want to get sick. And so I didn't have any type of social life. I didn't have any type of interaction, but really my family, my parents, so it was, some lonely days, and it was a lot. And through those days though, you learn a lot about yourself. And, luckily I was still working and we were doing Zoom calls every day, and I was recruiting and we were hopping on Zoom with recruits every day. And, it's a lot of interchanging parts, and, you just learn a lot about yourself in these moments, because, when you don't think you can do it, or, you're by yourself in your thoughts, you just kind of, what are you telling yourself and what kind of thoughts do you have, and are you being positive or not? So, even like it was a good learning experience for me. And, I wouldn't have traded the experience for the world. And I made it out okay. I gave a great birth. And, even though, I was really sick at the end, I had a healthy baby. And, as she wakes up right now, you can even see her she's laying next to me and she's like, Mom, why are you talking while I'm sleeping?
Hi, guys. What's up, Kaya?
So, yeah, this is the life of a mom. And
when you said that, like, she can't sleep unless she's like next to you.
Yeah, unless she's next to me. So I had to put her out here while we did the call. And, obviously I'm talking and she woke up. But, normally she wakes up when she's hungry too.
Yeah. So, I mean, this experience for you, these last few months, what's it taught you about yourself?
It just kind of teaches you, when you think you can't do something, you definitely can do it. And it's just about putting your mind to it. And, if you think it's hard, it's going to be hard. And do I have days where it is so hard and I'm just like, how am I going to do this? And, today she was cranky all day and she was hungry and she was just upset most of the day. And, I was tired because I've been up all night with her, all morning with her, and I'm trying to get a scout done. And, I know I have to make some recruit calls and all this stuff. And, you realize though through it all that, it's worth it. I'm coaching, I'm doing what I love, I'm being a mom. And I didn't realize how much I was going to love being a mom until I was a mom. And it's exactly what I needed. You don't think you need certain things, and it has changed my whole life. And, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I can't imagine a life without Kaya in it now. So, I think people doubted me from the beginning. I think people questioned me. I think people judged the situation. But, at the end of the day, it's my story and it's my situation, and no one else has to live this life but me. And, I'm grateful for it.
And you talked about that, the fact that people judged you, people might have thought you can't do it. Why are you doing this? What's going on? In the world that we live in today, everybody's got an opinion about everybody. Yet typically the people that have an opinion about everybody else have no idea how to take care of their own life, and it's usually chaos. I've never seen a person that's had it all together pick on somebody else. How did you handle people counting you? I mean, this should be like the greatest time of your life. It should be 9 months of people saying, let's go, Katie, you got this. How did you handle the fact that some people are saying, maybe you don't have this? Why would you do this? What are you doing? How'd you handle that?
Yeah, I think obviously there's some people that are old school approaches, like you have to be married and before you can have children, and you got to do it the traditional way, and stuff just doesn't happen that way. And, and I don't know if some people were, doubtful. They were just concerned for me. Like, how are you going to do it? That's going to be a lot. Like, you have a full-time job that is a lot of time commitment. And I think it was more just concern. And, through the concern, I had a lot of people that were there for me. I have a big support system in my life. And from the people at Lafayette, from my family who comes up on weekends, from my family who will send me formula and everything else. And, having that support is what got me through this. I have a best friend that went to Syracuse and played volleyball there. And, she has been through like my ace through this. Like every night I was pregnant, going through pregnancy on my own. And she called me and made sure I was okay. And she was up here for like a month or two, the last couple months, helping me out on her break at school. So, just stuff like that, having a support system. Like my brother has come up here, my aunts have come up here. I'm not alone. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just knowing I'm not alone. And, from, like I said, my staff and even our assistant coach Nat today, taking 2 hours out of her day so I could get my scout done is what gets me through this stuff. So,
and like you said, having people that are there for you, going through this on your own, going through morning sickness, aches and pains in the middle of the night, getting up, not feeling well. What got you through that?
Yeah, I don't know. And alone in Pennsylvania, besides having, obviously basketball staff and players, and it was a lot. And, I would come home to myself, and I would just have all these thoughts through my head, like what's going to happen, this and that. And, sometimes you just got to pray on it, and you have to lean on people. I don't do a good job of asking for help, even when I need help, and I know I need help sometimes. And,
Yeah.
I've gotten better at asking for help and, kind of leaning on people when I need them.
For you to get through all of this and to do this, when you first found out that you were pregnant and that you were going to do this as a single parent, what were the first things that went through your head?
I don't even know. It was a whirlwind of emotions. Like, you find out you're pregnant, and then you got to tell people. And, I had to tell my family and my parents. And, it was just a lot going through my head. And we were playing games, and, we were still coaching. And, I would go through to coaches meetings. Like, the next morning I found out, and you're the only one knows that you're pregnant. And it's like, oh my God, like, this is different, So it was just different. And, through it all, and like I said, having the support of people, I realized it was going to be okay. And, I don't give myself kudos enough, but I think I'm kicking butt right now, and I'm doing it, and I'm showing I can do it every day. And sometimes you got to give yourself credit for, the stuff you do.
And I think that's the thing, speaking here with Katie Kalinsky, and I want to tell you that she's an assistant coach at Lafayette and that she was at Syracuse for 7 seasons. But the real thing when I think of you is, I'm talking to one of my closest people, like I'm talking to one of my closest friends. Before we did this on the air and whatnot, with all the craziness of your life, I was asking you for advice because I trust you, so I think you should give yourself kudos, because I remember the first time that I said hello to you was actually we were out in Omaha, Nebraska, and the season was wrapping up. Syracuse had lost to Duke. You were walking through, and somebody, I think, congratulated you on something. And I was like, I waved and said, hey, how are you? And then I reached out to you after that, and we've been talking ever since. And Katie, with the thing that the people don't see is you've actually been one of the rocks in my life. You've been a huge supporter. You've been, somebody professionally and personally that has always kind of been a cheerleader for me and positive for me, and always wanting me to stay focused and know my worth. So, I got to say thank you for that, because I knew you were going to be a great mom before you became a mom, because the love and compassion and the selflessness that you had and the time that you spent with me, a total stranger that became a friend. I mean, you have enriched my life, and there's so many things that you've done that I can't even thank you enough for, that you even know about. And so I knew you were going to be a great mom, because I saw the compassion, I saw the love, I saw the the honesty and the integrity and the humility and the kindness that it takes to be a great parent, because you gave that to me as a friend.
No, I appreciate that a lot. It's likewise. And, I'm a vibe person. And I knew, from the moment I met you, that you were just a good person, just trying to do good and put good out there. And, I'm all about that in life. And, I do think you have to be there for people and hear people's stories and try to help people along the way. And, that's the big reason I coach, is because I wanted to help people, and then when I became a mom, like, you just don't know the love you can truly have until you have a child. And, I won't let anything come between that. I will fight for this kid to the day I die. And, you don't realize you have that in you until you have a kid, and you're just like, it's different, and I try to just, go with that same compassion every day. And it's funny you mentioned Omaha, because we did lose out there. And, I'll tell you, I don't know if people know the story, but we had lost to Duke, and that was the end of my Syracuse career. And I love Syracuse so much. And I was crying in the coach's locker room, after the game, with Coach Boeheim, GMAC, and all of them. And they're just kind of looking at me like they didn't even know what to say, because, it's different. And I'll never forget just crying in that room after we had lost. And, it's good lessons learned. And, I really thought we were going to randomly go to the Final Four that year. That's kind of, hope Coach Boeheim puts into teams. And, it's all lessons learned, really. But that's funny that you bring up Omaha.
And I remember how crazy, my side of it, I don't even think you know this, but in order for me to get to Omaha, because it was so hard because for whatever reason, the NCAA, no offense to Omaha, Nebraska, but the NCAA should never have games there because, they make fun of Syracuse's airport. Omaha, they have one of their gates in the airport is right up against security because they don't have enough room. So it's like gate one is as you're going through security, everybody's looking at you. There's like one place to eat. There's one little shop. There's like 4 or 5 gates. It's all in one place. It's like literally sitting in an auditorium. That's the airport. And so I had to go from Syracuse to Minneapolis to Des Moines, Iowa. I rented a car, drove that SUV 2 hours, pulled in. The game had already started, but it was only a few minutes in, thank God. Got into the game after it was raining. It was crazy. And just literally went into that game, went upstairs and watched it. And then literally went back, worked on all my work for the game in the hotel room, ordered pizza. It got there at like 1:00 in the morning. Then I got up a few hours later, got on a plane and went home. Just so I could be in Omaha.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, it's crazy. Like you don't realize too, like even that season from going from Detroit and getting like to our next spot at like 4:00 in the morning. And, it was just a lot. It was just, that season was really crazy. And just the stuff that goes on behind the scenes and what the players go through, I don't think they get enough credit for what they really go through in their bodies and, the taxing of the season. And, I even have to shout out all players and coaches right now because this whole COVID thing is hard. Games are getting scheduled. They're getting canceled. You don't know who you're playing. Our game last week, we were supposed to play American on a Saturday. It got canceled Friday night at 6 p.m. We picked up Loyola, Maryland at 6:30 p.m. And the next morning we were on a bus out to Loyola when we were supposed to play home that day. And, just having to get meals and buses and itineraries and, the things coaches and staffs are doing right now is unbelievable with the situation at hand.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is like people don't think about this, but Syracuse had to do this. They went from having a home game against North Carolina to going on the road to Clemson, and it was like, why? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, why give up a home game and then go on the road? And, but they're trying to have a season. They're trying to get the games in. They're trying to do what they can. And I don't think that, players get enough credit because first and foremost, players and coaches, I'm talking about me as a member of the media, as a broadcaster and a writer, all of that took to get to Omaha, and then you have all that stuff. And it's like, I remember one day, Michael Carter Williams, the game ended, y'all got on a plane. And then it was like 2 hours later, he was like, just touchdown in Syracuse. And I'm like, how the hell did he get home that quick? Yeah. But it's like, and then it's like practice the next day, going to school, weight training. People they look at wins and losses, but they don't look at all of the travel, all the practice, all of the games, the wear and tear. Then you add into a season that start, stop, away, home, move this to Tuesday, that to Wednesday, then move that up, then move that back a week, then let's do this, but we got to get it all done before March 1st. This season has made craziness more crazy, but people think about this year as crazy because they don't know how crazy it is for you as a coach to go through it on a normal year.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. And we were even on a 7-day pause and, our kids couldn't do anything. They couldn't even touch a basketball for 7 days in the season. You're not touching a basketball for 7 days in the season. And, then maybe if a player does have COVID or whatever the situation is, they could be out longer. And then they were sick that whole time. So then they got to try to come back and get in shape from being that sick with COVID. And it's just a lot. And, we're getting games in and it's just a blessing. I don't even care about records right now. Just being able to play games and being healthy is a blessing in its own right during this season because I've never seen anything like this in my life. And it is taxing. It is exhausting. It is exhausting for the players, the coaches, people trying to make the schedules. It's a lot.
I mean, and how do you navigate through it as a mom, knowing you have a home game, so you make preparations and plans, and then okay, now it's an away game, you got to go on the road. How do you deal with that as a mom and a coach?
Yeah, no, it was a lot because it was the night before my birthday, and actually Baikita had come up with his wife Alma, and they were here, and 6:30 at night we got the call hey, American's canceled, we're playing Loyola, and I play the role as a dobo, so it was my job to get a meal after the game. It was my job and that's less than 24-hour notice. It was my job to, get a new itinerary in and, all that stuff. And then it turned into my scout because I had the Loyola Scout. So, everything changed so rapidly, and I had to get the information to the kids. And, I had buying Alma here, and we just had to order dinner, and I didn't even get to sit down and have dinner with them.
Yeah.
And while all this is going on, I have a daughter, and, luckily they were here to help with her. And then, the next morning I had a friend coming up that was going to help on my birthday, but it was supposed to be home. So it turned into a road game. So it's just a lot. It is. And, again, I'm a single mom, so it's just me, and I got to navigate it, and I got to figure it out. And, luckily I just have the support I have because it wouldn't work otherwise. And it is what it is. That's what I've learned. I just stay afloat every day and just take it for what it is right now.
So what is it? What do you do for home and away games with Kaya Bean? What's the plan?
Yeah. So, I mean, we can't have fans in the stands. So like, if we could have fans, I would just have someone come to like the game and watch her during the game. But, my family has done a good job of just helping me out. So like next Wednesday we play a game. My brother will come up here. My parents are coming up the weekend after that. So I'm just lucky that I do have the support I have, that they'll just come for the weekends. One weekend we played a game, my aunt came up and, stayed with Kaya for the weekend. And luckily we don't go overnight places. So I don't have to like be away from her at night, because I think that'd be a lot for her at this age. It's just like I'll be gone for maybe 6 hours in the day and I'll be back. So it's not too bad for her. And then home games, I'm only away from her for like 3 hours and I come home to her. So it definitely could be worse if we were traveling, staying overnight. But it's not that bad with our schedule. We only play Saturdays and Sundays usually. So. Yeah.
And Saturdays and Sundays for you now. Is that how it is moving forward, or is this just Corona schedule at this point?
Yeah, this is just Corona schedule, but I think like moving forward, once she gets a little older and bigger, it's going to be easier to navigate. So I actually, in a way, got lucky this year that, we're not staying overnight anywhere. It's Saturday, Sunday. I can have help on the weekends. It hasn't been that bad. And I'm hoping next year we'll be able to have fans in the stands, so she can come to the game with us.
Yeah. And it is, it's so unique, and trying to protect her in this world as a mom in general, and then trying to protect her from a pandemic. How have you dealt with all of this? Does it make you more fearful? I don't know you to have many fears. So, how do you deal with all that?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all getting tested 3 times a day or a week. So I got tested today, it was negative. I got tested Monday, it was negative. So I'm actually in the safest place she could be if you really think about it, because if someone has COVID, you're going to catch it right away. And, at the end of the day, I can't protect her from everything. You can just do your best to, obviously you don't want her to get COVID. So, we do our best, wear a mask, wash our hands. I keep her away from people for the most part. If my family comes up, they get tested ahead of time. Obviously the team's getting tested. So it's really, to me, it's a safe environment, because our kids literally aren't, going anywhere besides, the dining hall into their dorm, and, we're getting tested. So, I've kind of just put it in God's hands this year and just hope that we're doing the right thing to, keep her safe.
Yeah, and it is. And you talk about, and I kind of want to put like this out there to your moms and dads. What is your advice, and what are your words of wisdom to single parents out there?
Yeah, seek help. You can't do it on your own. And then you just got to know that the hard days are going to be there, and there's days you want to cry, and there's days that she's crying and you're both crying and you're tired and you're exhausted, but it's worth it, and you just got to keep fighting. That's what I realized. Like, I can't just sit here and say, oh, like it's the perfect life and I don't cry and it's perfectly fine, I'm never tired. Like, no, I'm exhausted every day. Like, even right now, I'm exhausted. I've been up and going all day working and, taking care of her, but, she's worth it. And kids are worth it. And, I just want to be able to give her the best life I can possibly give her. And I'm going to fight for that life every day. And, she's my motivation to keep going. And, it's okay that certain situations don't work out, but it's just kind of how you deal with that situation. And, I feel like I've just taken this situation on, head on. And, like I have days I complain, I have days that I get tired or, whatever. But, at the end of the day, like I said, she's worth it no matter what. And I'm a fight for her no matter what. So that's kind of where I stand. And, you just got to keep fighting.
Speaking here with my good friend, Katie Kalinsky, spent 7 years at Syracuse on the men's basketball staff. and is now at Lafayette with the Leopards. Being at Lafayette, what has it taught you beyond all of this and being a mom and the pandemic and everything else? Just to look at Lafayette itself, why was this a good decision, and what has it taught you up to this point?
Yeah, I think it was a good decision for me because our head coach allows me to grow. She puts me in situations at practice, puts me in situations with our kids where she lets me coach. She lets me watch film with them. She lets me work them out and teach the kids like what I want to teach them. And, when we do scouting reports, like I'm the one that gives it to the team when it's my scout, and she lets us put it together and deliver it. And, I have had a lot of growth in my last year since I've been here, as a coach, and I'm a young coach, and I'm realizing I have a lot more to learn and go, but, she allows it to happen. And, she doesn't judge or, get mad, like even if I do make a mistake, she just kind of talks to me about it. Like, hey, you got to be better with this, or, hey, you can really do this better. And, it's good to have that type of critique. And, I don't really think it's criticism when someone's trying to teach you to, be the best you. So, I've just learned that I have a long way to go with coaching, but, at the end of the day, it's been just a good situation because I have the freedom to get where I need to go. So I'm definitely thankful for that.
And having that, I mean, do you look, are we going to kind of time capsule this show and look back on this? And, I'm going to be talking to Katie Kalinske, the head coach who, is raising her daughter around the game. I mean, is that something, I feel like that's going to happen to you?
You know what? I don't know what the future holds. I will say this, that I have a sincere loyalty towards my head coach and, kind of what she's done for me and helped me, especially, giving me a chance and hiring me. And I'm going to ride it out with her as long as I can and as long as she'll have me, and hopefully we'll be talking 10 years from now that we created a dynasty at Lafayette and we won Patriot League championships and we're at the top of the league for a long time to come. That's the goal. So I'm hoping that's what happens.
Yeah. And the thing is, having a coach that understands what's going on in your life, understands, you being a mom and all that. I mean, what you said she's doing for you, it goes above and beyond the normal expectation.
Way more than I have ever expected. And like I said, I don't know how to really thank her, repay her for, everything she's done for me, but she definitely has some loyalty on my end. And for a long time to come, I will definitely be loyal. So
that coming from Miss Kalinske here. Katie, before I let you go, what have you learned the most about yourself at this point?
I learned that, like I said, that obviously things are going to get hard and nothing's going to be perfect, but it's how you deal with the adversity, it's how you deal with it. And, that's what I'm kind of learning, that I just got to keep pushing forward and lean on people for support and, continue to be a good person. And I think good things happen to good people. And that's what you and I talk about all the time, Dan. Just be a good person and half the battle will go away. So,
we've seen that, we've seen social justice, we've seen a pandemic, we have seen so much go on, in these last few months. And, with being a parent, with the social justice issues, with, the way you and I treat people as opposed to how other people treat people and all of that, when you look at this world today, what should be the message here in 2021?
I think we just need to love each other. I know it sounds silly, but it's like all the stuff that's going on in the world, and we're finally raising awareness, and we're finally raising awareness for equality. And, we just got to come together as one. We're all the human race. There's no difference from me and the next person. And, I just hope that my daughter can grow up in a world that's accepting of her and, accepting of each other. So I just hope she sees change in the world because I know she deserves better from what we've had in the past.
That coming from Katie Kalinske. Katie, I know you got to get to Miss Kaya Bean, but I appreciate you so much for spending some time here with me to kind of, update us on how things are going. Selfishly, I just want to talk to a friend, but, I know that I got to get my butt over to Pennsylvania. And if there's any way that I can help out either there or when you're here, please don't hesitate to call.
I appreciate that a lot, Dan. I always appreciate you having me on the show.
that coming once again from my good friend and somebody that I appreciate, consider part of the family, Miss Katie Kalinsky and her little Kaya Bean here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We'll take a quick step aside on Wake Up Call, and we will be back with you in just a moment to continue the conversation and get you ready for TGIF, as I can't believe it's Friday coming up already, and we'll talk about what's coming up on Friday's show right after this.
Avicoli's Restaurant, located right at the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road, is proud to be your local neighbor, growing with you for over 20 years. We're open 7 days a week for lunch, dinner, and drinks. For takeout, delivery, or catering, call us at 315-622-5100. When you order online and use our promo code AVS10, you will save 10% on your online purchase at myavicolis.com. And make sure to join us monthly for our live on-site broadcasts centered around Liverpool athletics. Avicoli's, your local, trusted neighbor right at the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road.
Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Trapper's Pizza Pub, located on 5950 Butternut Drive in East Syracuse. Right off of Bridge Street is your local community supporter right around the corner. Join us on site at Trapper's Pizza Pub for our live monthly broadcast supporting Central New York student athletes and their sports programs. Call 315-438-4444 for more information. And find us on Facebook and Instagram at Trapper's Pizza Pub. Trapper's Pizza Pub, your local community supporter right around the corner.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. You're watching on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT, as well as on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. And of course, you're listening on WakeUpCallDT.com and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. So however you're tuning into the show, I thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast. I want to thank Katie Kalinsky as well as Papa Joe for two amazing heartfelt conversations and, emotion-filled conversations as well. This week, starting off February, it's funny how this is the month of St. Valentine, because all we've had this month is true emotion these first few days here from Jim Durin and Jim Jerome and Tom Durin, as well as the Ingredients to Success, proudly brought to you by Avicoli's, and of course, the emotion and positivity that we get from Mike Sofka, and all the good that we've had, in the broadcast has really gone such a long way and done so much for us. And then Katie Kalinsky and Papa Joe here today with us and bringing that positivity and that positive emotion. And then yesterday with Dale Shackelford. So, it's really been a fantastic way to start off the month, and I feel very blessed and feel very fortunate to have the people that I have in my life and to have the connections that I have. And God is obviously great and has more than overblessed me, and I cannot ever thank God enough for the blessings that God's given. But they said that, God gives you gifts, and what you do with your gifts is your gifts back to God. So more than overblessed I guess my way of saying thank you is to spend my time wisely, to use the talents and the gifts He's given me for good and to the best of my ability, and to appreciate all the blessings that I have, to build bridges and never tear them down, and to do everything that I can to pull down the walls and to build a good community. So I will continue to do my best and give all that I can, wherever I can, however I can, to whomever I can. With that being said, we'll take our final step aside of today's show, and we'll talk about what's coming up on Friday, right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand butter chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Proud to be here with you inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Cafe Kubal with 5 locations for you. You could go out and see them at 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, their newest location, as well as 208 North Townsend Street in Syracuse, and their other Syracuse locations on 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, and 3501 James Street. Want to thank my amazing guests inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin' Today, Papa Joe, as always, and to Katie Kalinsky and to Miss Kaya Bean. I want to thank them for making this such a heartfelt and tremendous show. If you would oblige me, I know that some people that listen have religion, some people don't. Some of ours are different, but if we could say a prayer today, it'd really mean a lot to me. So I'm going to do that. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. So, for Papa Joe, I pray and I hope that, God, you heal him. I know that it may take a miracle or miracles, but I pray that he is healed, as well as my Uncle Bill and my Aunt Maureen, my cousins Jeremy and Jessica, and, for Aunt Mary, for the heart and everything going on, my Aunt Jeannie and my Aunt Carol, as well as for Joey and for all the animals in the family, everybody in the family. I pray and I hope for healing, completely healing, and healing for good, and no matter what, through you, and handling well whatever comes our way. And please, whatever happens, may Papa Joe be able to navigate it well, be safe and healthy and happy, and do your will and be well, and have all your most precious gifts with him. And may we all live a long, fun life that goes by slowly. May it be truly remarkable and amazing, and may Papa Joe only be getting started. And if for some reason he has to have this scooter and things have to, his mobility changes a little bit, may it not kill his spirit, may it not keep him down, and may he have 20, 30, 50 more years on this planet. May he truly have so much time left to enjoy and to spend. May he just be getting started with us all, and may he only get better, never worse. And for Katie, and for all the single parents out there, and everybody, for all the parents out there in general that are dealing with things, I pray and I hope for your health and your safety and your happiness. For someone who is not a parent to a human being yet, but a parent to Lily, may I always be a good parent to Lily. May we all be good parents to our animals and to our children, and to our children who are like animals. And may someday I have the opportunity with the right woman to be a father. And may Katie have all the great help that she has, and then some. May Kaya Bean grow up knowing only a fantastic mother and a fantastic life. And may Katie be able to do this on her own, and maybe someday she won't have to, but may she be more than capable of doing it. May all the single parents be capable of doing it, and all the parents in general be capable of doing it. And more than anything, may we be living in a world where we are enjoying it and it's getting better, and may we make it better for our kids. So, Lord, may this world not be as bad as we think it is. May it have the capacity and the ability to be better. May we be better in it, which helps it to become better. And may our kids have a better world than what we have, but may this one not be bad by any stretch of the imagination either. I love you, I appreciate you, and I respect you. In Jesus' most precious name, amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Couldn't think of a better way to end the show. Papa Joe, Katie, Kaya Bean, I love you all, and I hope you all have a great day. Find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. And thank you so much for being a part of the show. We're always on wakeupcalldt.com. And I look forward to talking with you this Friday. TGIF will have the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. LEAD, which stands for Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero with myself and Juanita Ward. The Top Dog of the Week is honored this week by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And then we'll have special guest live, Sonny Spira, who is one of my good friends and an amazing inspiration on social media. You could check him out on Facebook. He's always putting up positive quotes that help me along my journey, and he will help you along yours as Sonny Spira, Syracuse Orange basketball alum and a doctor, a dentist out there. He'll be joining us at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, this TGIF. In the meantime, God bless, no stress, do your best, and be good to each other. I'll talk with you all soon. Be well.